What's up, team? Traders War Room wants to thank you, the viewer, for coming along with us on this journey. Make sure you check out the description tab as it has links to online brokerage, social media platforms, and also everything covered in the video will have a link so that you can go back and research it at your time. Let's go to war.
What is up, team? Chuck with Traders War Room, and I'm back at you with another video. And this is Wednesday. This is your midweek sit rep, and we're going to talk about what happened in the market today. And also, this is our second iteration in our options discussion, specifically talking about the Greeks. And today we're going to go over Theta. Okay, we're going to break it down. We're going to Barney size it. I'm going to try to put it in a package with a tight bow so that you guys understand it a little bit better. So when you're making your option calls or puts, you understand how Theta affects your position, all right? What I need you to do right now is like, share, subscribe, join the team, join the community. Listen, we just broke over 400 on the Facebook group. Okay, Discord's going crazy. We got YouTube, we got Twitter, we got some sort of social media platform out there for every single person. So I need you to hop online, I need you to be engaging, and I need you to come with us on this journey. As always, if you're ready, follow me and let's go to war.
Traders War Room wants to remind the viewer that everything covered on this channel is for education and entertainment purposes only. You are responsible for every move and decision you make within your stock market journey. Let's go to war.
All right, team. Hey, welcome back. Listen, before we get started, I just want to give a big shout out and a salute to all the team members out there because we are now 400 plus strong on the Facebook. The YouTube's taking off, Twitter's doing good, and Discord's popping off. And it's all because of you guys coming with us on this journey. You guys are sharing this with your friends. You're letting them know, hey, we mean business. We're a real group. We're putting great content out. And because of you guys, you are the reason that my moderator team and I, we're putting out all the engaging research topics and thought-provoking content and everything that we put out all over every social media platform. And remember, we got 4 other groups that are on this journey with us because we're a joint forces and allied, market coalition, if you will. And make sure you guys check out their pages as well and see what they got, because everyone has a little bit of different specialty and skill set, but we all work together and we're all in it for the community. So just want to give you guys that before we get started. But right now, let's get into the buzz report and talk about what's hot and what's not in the stock market and see how the market did today. Let's go.
All right, let's get into the market overview. As you see, the Dow was green, the NASDAQ red, and the S&P was green. Not up or down too much, but definitely we saw it in some of the individual stocks and sectors. Some of them did well, some of them did poor. All right, now here's your market movers. Real quick, I want to highlight SOS. So a lot of us jumped on with some heavy shares onto this Reddit train that was, potentially showing, a market squeeze or a retail investment into this particular stock. There's a price target out there within 90 days of $15. What you saw today is pre-market. It was up pretty significantly, and then it came back down to the previous levels it was at yesterday, and you kind of saw it float in between its support and resistance all day and didn't really do much. But we're keeping a watch on this, and I'm having a strict rule with this particular play. Negative 10%, I'm out. If it doesn't hit that negative 10%, I'm going to ride with this, and we'll see what this does within 90 days. But my price target for sell is $15. There's your sector performance, kind of 50-50. We saw some communication services, infotech, and energy and financials were all starting to come out. I noticed that a lot of these sectors dipped during midday, and that was when we started getting news reports of Biden administration pushing out information that dealt with financials and the federal government and, fears of inflation and all that stuff. So anytime this administration puts any type of information out, expect the market to drop significantly or at least be able to be noticeable in a market dip. I haven't seen one time that it came out that the market ran on a bullish run during when they were pushing out press releases. All right, and here's your futures. Now listen, if you don't pay much attention to futures, you really need to start to, okay? You're doing yourself a disservice. Futures give you a glimpse to potentially moves that the market's going to make in the future. So pay attention to them and dig into each individual sector to get a real idea of how the futures are moving in sectors and stocks. All right, so let's get into our first article. We're going to talk about the Dow Jones futures, which we just did, the stock market rally, and how it kind of paused midday when you heard about Biden's administration talking about tax price hikes and financial plans. And then we're going to talk about, juggernauts in the technology sector that kind of lead the way, and you can definitely see when the market's doing well and when the market's not doing well based off looking at these stocks. So I want to talk about Apple a little bit. Apple reclaimed its 50-day moving average. Now, shout out to the moving averages. If you're not using the MAs, you're doing yourself another disservice, okay? At least putting on a 10, 50, and 100 MA is a great way to get some sort of indicator when you're looking at technicals on a chart. I use MAs. I like them. I suggest you do the same, and I'm going to leave a link in the description so you can get more spun up on MAs if you have no idea what they are and what they do for you as far as looking at a stock. But moving on, Microsoft did good, Amazon did good, Facebook, Nvidia, Alphabet. Now listen, anytime that these juggernaut stocks do well in the stock market, you're going to see probably a needle pointing up in the stock market. Anytime you see these doing poor, you're going to start seeing them needle pulling down. And the reason being is they have so much capital that they move the market with their price of their stock movements. And so that's what you get with these large caps. And if you guys are only into small caps and that's the only thing in your portfolio, you guys are doing yourself a disservice. You need to upgrade and get yourself some blue chip large cap stocks within your portfolio. And also Tesla kind of hit a hard resistance level, and we're watching Tesla right now. They haven't hit their mark on a couple things lately, and you got some analysts starting to give a bearish sentiment towards the stock. Now, I'm still bullish on Tesla. I think it's the next big thing, and I'm holding my shares forever. But I look at this type of information and I watch it close because this offers a buying opportunity to me, and also possibly some day trading along with the stock because it fluctuates so much. So keep that on your radar and keep your options open when it comes to this stock. And we can see why the market kind of took a crap on us during midday, and it's because they released details on Biden's tax plan. Now, this is just my opinion, but what I've noticed is anytime this administration puts any type of information out, or they talk, either President Biden himself or any part of his cabinet or administration, the market reacts negatively to whatever he's saying. Now, it might go on a bullish run afterwards based off of what was said and what was put out, but anytime they come out and they're about to go on, or during their speech or their press release or whatever it is, the market's going to start taking a dip. And I noticed right away, I knew exactly when this press release was at, when I started seeing things dip all over my portfolio. Everything was going from green to red, and I was like, oh, press release was out. And then I did my Google search, and yep, sure enough, press release was out, and it dealt with tax hikes and finances, and it wasn't even bad news. But this is what you get with this administration for some reason within the market. And like I said, the press release wasn't even bad. It gave some information saying, it's going to be some time before they begin removing aggressive monetary measures to support the economy. So there's time out there. But, Wall Street, if you guys haven't noticed it by now, Wall Street's very reactive. And anytime there's uncertainty, it's going to react one way or the other. And like I said, in my opinion, with this particular administration, it acts negatively. So you would behoove yourself to go ahead and look to see when press release and anything with this administration is set to go up against, and then mark your times in the market, especially if you're a day trader. And that would probably be the time to get out and go all cash right before this. All right, and talking about juggernauts, the next article I want to get into is a thing about, hey, buying these stocks now might seem expensive, but think about it in 2 to 3 years from now. So everyone heard the story of like when Motley Fools first put on Amazon saying, hey, buy this at $7, and everyone laughed like, don't buy this stock, it's crap, whatever. And Amazon and people that bought in are kind of laughing in your face now because look at Amazon. is a freaking beast, okay? Netflix is up there as well. Everyone, when I remember Netflix came on the scene, everyone, Blockbusters were still open, right? And everyone was like, oh, Netflix, whatever. I even bought a PlayStation 3 because it had Blu-ray, and then immediately got the Netflix. And I remember them coming through the mail and just watching the movie and then having to mail it back. So the old school Netflix, right? No one thought about Netflix at that time. Oh, it's whatever. Look at it now, okay? So, point being, some of these stocks that look expensive now, just think about them in 2, 3, maybe 5 years down the road, okay? You could have got in at a better level and had way more shares when, say, Netflix hits 1,500, and you're going to be like, man, I wish I would have got it at 5. Or Amazon hits up there at $10,000 a share, which would be nuts, but you're sitting there like, man, I wish I would have got in at 3s. So just pay attention, and if you like the stock and it's a good stock, don't be afraid to jump in. That's why they got fractional shares, for a purpose, so don't be afraid to jump in. And last but not least, I wanted to share this with you. Okay, these are the top 25 stocks that are projected to do really good in the futures as far as like earnings are in play. All right, so I want you guys to look at these stocks. A lot of these stocks you need to research. And like I said it before, if you don't have these blue chip stocks, or at least some of these in your portfolio, and you're only dealing with small cap stocks, and you consider yourself an investor, you're doing yourself a disservice, okay? A lot of these blue chip stocks, this is where the investor cap comes in, where you're not just buying stocks to trade and make money. You're buying stocks to invest in for future capital gains later down the road. So I need you guys to look at some of these stocks, pause this, blow it up, research some of these, and get yourself some of these in your portfolio.
All right, so you saw what the market did today, and you got some of the news topics. Now let's get into probably what most people are really watching this video for, and they want to learn about options, okay? Options has exploded here recently, and people see that we're putting out good alerts and good calls, and we're making some decent money, okay? I see every day like, man, that was a good call, or man, I wish I would have got in, and there's no need to have FOMO with these things. As long as you know the basics and you know what you're doing, you shouldn't have a fear to hop into a call or a put. And we're going to talk about the Greeks specifically. Last time we talked about Delta, but today we're going to talk about Theta, and this is time decay. And I want to really break it down so you guys understand on how much time you're in your play can really go against your position. So right now we're going to break down Theta, and I hope I give it a Barney style approach so you truly understand it. So let's get at it.
All right, now we're going to get into our option discussion, specifically about the Greeks, and we're talking about Theta today, or as everyone likes to call it, time decay. Now, this measures the change in the price of an option for 1 day decrease in its time until expiration. So, simply put, Theta tells you how much the price of an option should decrease as the option nears expiration. Now, I want you to be understanding of this, that there's no particular spot or moment in time where your Theta is going to drop your price, okay? It's not at the beginning of the market, it's not at the end of the market, it's during the period of the market day. So it's going to drop upon it. I'm going to show you one of my option plays, and we're going to go over Theta so you can see exactly what it looks like, and then looking at it from the option point of view where it currently sits, and how much it'll be decreased if it doesn't move anything tomorrow. Now, since these options lose their values as expiration approaches, Theta estimates how much value the option will lose each day. Because time value erosion is not linear, Theta of an at the money, just slightly out of the money, or in the money options generally increase as the expiration approaches, while Theta of far out the money options generally decreases as expiration approaches. And here's a nice little graphic that kind of shows you time value erosion. Let's thank Charles Schwab Center for their great graphic that they have. And now we're going to look at one of my options I have in my portfolio so you can see it real time. So for the option play that I want to go over Theta with you, I could pick any option in my portfolio, but I wanted to give you one that I am losing on so that I can show you that I'm a real person, transparent, and it's not all, sunshine and rainbows and money bags and green arrows pointing up. Sometimes you make mistakes, and your plays are not doing so well. So let's get at it. This one is XOM. As you see, I got a $58 call option, and I'm sitting at 9 cents right now, and you see nothing but red. And as you see is my position, I got one contract. I was in it for $56, and right now I'm down $47 or 83%. I'm gonna, unless this thing turns around, which I highly doubt it will, this is just gonna expire worthless, and I'm just out 56 bucks. Now there's the stats, but I want you to pay attention because we're talking Greeks. I want you to pay attention to that theta. So notice it's a negative number, and it's negative 0.0769. So every day this stock loses 8 cents of my principal, which is that 9 cents originally to 56 cents. So let's go back to that. Remember, negative 8 cents. And if you remember last lesson that we talked about delta, just to recap real quick, you see my delta is 0.13, right? So we can consider that 0.14. So there's a 14% chance that this is going to expire near in the money for me. And that's not good odds. And like I said, I've already prepared myself. This is probably going to expire worthless. And hopefully tomorrow I see this stock going towards my break-even point, and maybe I can capitalize on some of my loss and come out with maybe 50% loss. But we'll see what happens tomorrow. And right now, though, I'm fully prepared that this is just going to expire on the 9th worthless. So I gave you a bad one earlier. Let me give you a good one, okay? Let's look at my GSAT call. I got a 50-cent call, currently at 85 cents. There's my position. You see I got 2 contracts. My average cost is 80 cents. Currently it's 85, so I'm up $10 or 6.25%. What I want you to pay attention on this one is my expiration date, okay? This is October 15th. The other one was April 9th. So this Friday was XOM. This contract that we're looking at now, GSAT, this one is for October 15th. Now, looking at the Greeks, notice the difference. The XOM one was negative 8 cents a day. Look at this one. This one's negative fractions of a cent per day. Now, it'll come closer once I get closer to my expiration date. It'll come back if I haven't sold it by then. But as it is right now, I'm not even worried about this losing money every day because it is just fractional and I'm up already. So no worries about this, but I got a lot of time on my contract. But as I start getting closer to expiration date, and that's what I want to drive home, the closer you are to your expiration date, the more money you're going to see loss per day.
All right, team. Hey, I hope that made sense. I hope I broke it down Barney styles and put in a nice little gift with a bow on it so that you truly understand what Theta does against your call and put options, okay? Right now, we're going to get into questions from the Frontline, and normally I take them off a messenger, but today I'm feeling froggy, so we're going to go ahead and get one that came off the Discord. So let's see what our question of the day is.
All right, so our question of the day comes from No Name, No Case. do you get one contract for every play or it differs? Well, that's a good question. So, to be honest with you, you just saw two different contracts that I have, and I had one contract in one play and two contracts in the other. Typically, if it's a play that I believe in and I got good conviction on it, I'm going to get at least two contracts. If I'm really going bullish on it, I'll try to get as many as I can, but two is usually where I go, 2 to 5. Now, if I'm unsure about it, like you saw with XOM, I've been burnt before in oils, and as you see, I'm getting burnt again right now. I usually go with one contract, so it's not too big of a loss, and I'm not tripping over the potential loss of $50 or $60. Rather, if I went heavy in it and it was a $300 loss. So, put it simply, it depends on the conviction I have in the stock, but typically I go with two contracts on ones that I like and one contract on others that I'm unsure of. But good question.
All right, team, that's it. Video's over. I hope I broke down Theta good enough for you so that you understand it a little bit better when you're making your call and put options. I just want to explain that calls are simply just a way to generate some money, okay? The idea is not to hold them to expiration. Once they pop, you want to sell for profit. And this is just generating money while we let our long hold stocks grow over time. And that's the end goal. But we need to be prepared and we need to have an understanding of what we're doing out there. Otherwise, we can seriously lose some money. So we want to make sure we're smart. And part of being smart with calls and puts and options in general are understanding the Greeks and how they work for us and against us. Now, with that said, as always, here at Traders War Room, we look at the stock market like it's a war zone. The stocks and the sectors, those are our battles. We do it together as a team. We attack, we conquer, and we destroy the stock market. We do it by surveying and reconning, looking for the best opportunity to strike and come out with profit on the end. The ultimate goal is to be better prepared today than we were yesterday. And that's all about increasing our understanding of the stock market, growing our knowledge of the stock market, and just being better prepared and more experienced. And you know what? Sometimes it comes from the wins, but a lot of times it comes from the losses. And you just have to go in there, get your feet wet, and make sure you're making the best informed decision. And that's part of the research and developing. And you got to do your part to come better on the end. So, as always, if you are ready, follow me and let's go to war.